Hi friends! If you don't know me, my name is Michelle and I am a self-taught baker. I specialize in a lot of cakes and I also love to do really cute and aesthetic desserts. In today's video, we're gonna talk about how I made Selena Gomez 2 cakes in 24 hours. So I got a last minute text from the Rare Beauty team asking for not just 1, but 2 cakes for Selena Gomez, one for her Emmy nomination and the other for her birthday. So this is from last year, but I've literally been sitting on this footage for such a long time. I still wanted to show you guys what I did in the process of making Selena Gomez her cakes. For some context, I already have a relationship with Rare Beauty because I've baked for them before. I was so honored to bake for their Valentine's Day event last year. It was so beautiful. I ended up making 32 cakes around. It was a feat. A lot of them were mini cakes, but it still takes a lot of time to make those type of cakes. They were cute little vintage cakes, and I also made 3 regular size cakes. I'll post some images of my cakes that Rare Beauty posted on their stories during the event. So I'm so grateful that I already had a relationship with Rare Beauty prior to this request. And they were also really amazing because they knew it was such a short notice. They literally texted me at 10:30 a.m. and they needed it the next morning. So it was a very short turnaround time. I was a little stressed, but come on, I'm gonna make some cakes for Selena Gomez. So I said yes. I had to go to the store, I had to prep the supplies, I had to prep the ingredients, bake the cakes, let them cool, and then decorate them. So I think I was up until about 2 a.m. finishing everything. There was no sleep that night, but I am so happy with how everything turned out. For her birthday cake, I made a pink calendar cake. So the calendar is written on top of the cake and then you circle her birthday and it said, "Happy birthday, Selena." And for the Emmy cake, they wanted to keep it pretty simple with all white, super clean, and then just green writing on top, congratulating her on her Emmy nomination. So if you wanna see me make cakes for the one and only Selena Gomez, let's get into it. I have already baked and chilled the cakes, so it's time to decorate them. The Rare Beauty team requested a chocolate cake for Selena, which I believe is her favorite flavor. I had other cake orders due that day, so this is why I'm starting at around 10 p.m. at night. This is going to be a very late night bake. I'm adding my regular American buttercream frosting that's not too sweet in the middle of the cake, and then I'm crumb coating it and adding the final layer. This is her Emmy cake, so they wanted to keep it very simple with an all-white, clean cake. I'm going to smooth the sides down with my offset spatula all around the cake, and then I'll use my scraper to make sure everything is even. This was one of the scarier parts of making this cake, which is piping with a dark colored icing onto a white cake. So I wasn't able to show too much on camera because it was very difficult to do, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. So I'm putting that in the fridge to chill. And now for cake number 2, this is for Selena Gomez's birthday cake, and this is the design that the Rare Beauty team sent to me as inspo. I always do my best to try and match the color of the buttercream to the inspo photo, and then I added that to another chocolate cake. For this design, we did decide to go for a slightly larger cake just to make sure all of the numbers for the calendar fit on the top. After the cake is crumb coated, I'll put that in the freezer for a few minutes to harden. Once it's nice and chilled and the crumbs are locked in, it's time to work on the final layer. I intentionally did not give crisp edges on top because we wanted that unfinished raw look. we're going to get started with the numbers on top. And this is when the real behind the scenes comes in, because to be honest, piping is not my specialty, but I was not going to say no to this, and I was determined to make this as nicely as I could, which is why I ended up redoing the numbers multiple times. The technique is to try and start in the middle as much as you can and then work your way out. I finished the last cake around 2 a.m. and then it was time to try and get a little bit of sleep before packaging it up in the morning. I had an early morning text from the Rare Beauty team and we agreed upon adding a little border to the Emmy cake just to add a little something extra. Luckily, I wasn't delivering the cake super far from my apartment. The hotel that I was delivering it to was pretty close, but I do refrigerate my cakes ahead of time to make it easier for driving. The cakes were going to be a surprise for Selena, so that was super exciting, and I was going to meet the Rare Beauty team at one of the suites at the hotel ahead of her arrival. Unfortunately, I could not show much of the delivery since it was a private and surprise moment, but it was wonderful to be able to see the team again and make another successful cake delivery for Selena Gomez. And that's how I ended up making a pink calendar birthday cake, as well as a simple white with green writing Emmy nomination cake for Selena Gomez, all in 24 hours. It was hectic, it was chaotic, I was super tired, but it was so worth it. Getting to create something special for someone I truly admire, as well as being trusted by the Rare Beauty team again, just means the world to me. If you enjoyed this behind the scenes look, don't forget to hit subscribe and like, and hit that little bell so you don't miss the next wild baking adventure.